In the previous videos, we only worked with one IoT device in the MagicBlocks platform. In this video, we are going to learn how to work with multiple IoT devices using MagicBlocks, especially communicating between two devices. For this activity, we have added two devices using the device manager in MagicBlocks. We already talked about how to add a device to MagicBlocks device manager. I renamed my devices as MyBit1 and MyBit2 for easy identification. Make sure both the devices are connected to MagicBlocks correctly. Both devices should show Wi-Fi network icons when it's correctly connected to the internet. After that, open the MagicBlocks playground. I'm dragging and dropping a digital input node to the workspace. If we check the settings from double-clicking the node, device ID is very important because that's the parameter which defines which IoT device we are interacting. Based on the things you learned in past videos, I think you already have an idea how to do this. Let's read the potentiometer value of this first magic bit, then transfer it to the other magic bit and display the value on its magic bit display. Potentiometer data from this gets sent to the magicblocks.io platform, and then it sends the data received to the other magic bit, which is known as MyBit2. Let's add an analog input node to the workspace, and the device ID which applies to this node is MyBit1. So it's important to name the devices when we are creating the devices in a meaningful manner. For the other settings in the analog input node, the pin number should be the pin number 39, which is for potentiometer pin. Method is interrupt and the threshold is 10. We could directly connect the output of the analog input node to a display node. In the display node, the device we are selecting is the MyBit2 device. Connect the output node of the analog input node to display node input. Also, in the display node settings, increase the font size to 4 so you could clearly see the output. After deploying it, when I turn the potentiometer from this, you can see the value is displayed on the other magic bit. Similarly, we could transfer any data between devices. Next, let's ring the buzzer on one device depending on the potentiometer reading of the other device. Add a switch node with a rule to check whether the potentiometer value is greater than 2000 units. I am adding a buzzer node to the workspace and select the device ID of the buzzer device as MyBit2, the second device. After deploying the flow, as soon as the value goes higher than 2000 units, there's a beep sound like this. By using multiple devices in the MagicBlocks platform, we could do so many interesting things. Let's say we have to cool down a room, but the chiller unit which controls the cooling process is in another area, maybe in the basement of the building. But we have to sense the temperature in a specific room so that the chiller in the basement could turn on or off to maintain the temperature as needed. You could easily install one IoT device such as MagicBit with the temperature sensor in the room. It senses the temperature and sends the data to MagicBlocks platform. And using a switch block, we could check whether the temperature is lower than a certain value or higher than a certain value to send a message to the MagicBit or the other IoT device near the chiller in the basement to turn on or off. So using multiple devices is very useful in IoT applications. You might have seen this with smart home solutions using devices such as smart plugs, lights, switches and many more. What happens in these smart systems is basically like this, as we demonstrated in today's video. What happens in these smart systems is basically what we demonstrated in today's video. From the next lesson, we are going to do some practical examples using this MagicBlocks platform. In the past videos, we have learned the basics and done few basic practicals. From the next video onwards, we are using all the things we learned so far to build meaningful and practical applications which you could use in everyday life.